What we will do next is discuss about secure neighborhoods. Security is an aspect that probably takes one of the largest part of the budget of the maintenance cost. We had done a survey of apartment adda users where about 78% of people said the main reason they choose apartment living over living in an individual house is a sense of security. Actual security they are not very clear about, but there's a sense of security in being in a, amongst neighbors with security guards and security equipment and all that. That when they are away from home, they know my family is safe, my child can play unsupervised and things like that, right? So this is for the first time that we are attacking security as an important aspect of a neighborhood or an apartment complex.
Okay, now back to Gatekeeper and security session. So this is, as San said, this is the first time we are ever doing a session on security because of late we are seeing a lot of crimes happening. For example, I think a couple of months back in Sarjapur, one of the apartments, what happened was a lady came from MG Road and she went into the apartment. They traced back who that visitor was, they were unable to trace who that person was at all. And then a similar incident happened in Whitefield that one of the IBM employee was murdered, right? And they had tough time tracing back as to who the person was. Cameras, they had visitor entry registers. Had come who had murdered. I mean, who was a visitor? Not sure, right? That's where our process of building this gatekeeper came along, and that's how gatekeeper is coming to existence now. In fact, in apartment adda. So, taking this panel now, this panel will be all about security. I invite the panelists for today, Anupama. So she represents Whitefield Rising, and she is a part of a force, a citizen forum, which is exclusively working towards the security aspects, called as Neighborhood Watch. And then I call upon Mr. Narasimhamurthy, who is Circle Inspector at Whitefield. Thank you, sir, for coming. And Caroline, she represents a security agency, Stalwart. Mr. Praveen, he represents Better Place, which is into again background verification. So a big round of applause for the panelists. So what we will do is briefly touch upon, they all represent different aspects into this whole thing called security. So one is from a background verification, one is from a citizen forum, one represents the security agency itself, and we have the police also here. So we will explore as to what each one of them think about this whole thing, what are the challenges they are facing. And then I'll throw it open to the audience. If you have any specific questions, you can just ask the speakers here, panelists here. Okay, so Anupama. Yes. Anupama is having a rich experience. She's having 20 years of experience in IT, specifically to do with security thing. Like I think she has been part of the forensic solutions related to forensic department and stuff like that. And now she also has a background wherein her grandfather has been actually involved in these crime reports and all that. I think she will be the better person to explain that. And she is now leading a citizen group which is which is working in conjunction with the police towards reporting these crimes. So Anupama, when you can introduce and talk about it.
Sure. Just a quick thing. We have to ask ourselves, is the responsibility of our safety and security responsibility of the police or even us? If you think about it, the police and us are not very different. They probably are part of us, are part of the public, but they are doing this as part of a job, whereas our job is to have that feeling on a regular basis as and when we walk around our neighborhoods. And even if we are living in an apartment community, many times it's not just the walls of the apartment community have become popular because of safety. We have seen that. We've also heard from a lot of people that, oh, we have appointed a guard but he's sleeping, right? He is sleeping. So all of these
All of these are basically
pointing at how active are we looking inside and outside of our communities as to what are we coming from responsibility, right? A citizen responsibility is to know what our neighbors, like a senior citizen, does he need help, or if they are on vacation, should we be watching? We should go beyond our own little home to take ownership, saying we are a community, and this happens only with awareness. You know, many times because we are so busy. I also worked in the IT industry, and now I'm helping my father with his NGO. It's called Truth Labs, which is an independent forensic science company, which is actually, it's an NGO which is helping people to solve crimes. You know, how much can police do? How much can the courts and all these people who are representatives of resolving a crime do? We have to probably help in some form or the other to expand our resources and also help them help us, right? So with that thought, I had actually quit, and then I started working with them, and that's when I found out that our neighborhoods are not actually strong enough because we don't communicate as well. Apartment Adda, for example, was a great communication tool for within the community. But what about communicating outside? Are we like a group of apartments living just block away? They don't know what is happening. Somebody breaks into our community, the neighborhood doesn't know. So how are we going to take this outside? So Narasimha Garu, who's the Circle Inspector of Whitefield, he has gone over and above his regular duties to say, I'm there to help you if you are willing to coordinate. So that is when this thought of bringing neighborhood watch, which is not a concept that is new. If you go back to the old days of living, there used to be a big banyan tree where people would sit, and they would know whoever would come. Whatever is happening in the neighborhood, they would know. But we have now gone past that. We're living in very differently. So now we have to communicate very differently. We have to work with the police. So he can add a lot of insight. I'm actually working very closely with him. He is giving us the directions as to what to do, how to form various groups. And we are taking the responsibility actually to bring the communications back and bring us bigger communities together.
So, Nupama, if you could let the forum know as to what is this neighborhood watch all about? You know, what is that you're aiming at solving? What is the issue or the problem that you're trying to solve through this neighborhood watch?
So you want to take that?
So you want to?
Let's go without the mic. We bought it for a new mic system. This is very unreliable.
That's a question Hello?
Sir, please speak aloud. We have asked for our.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Narasimha Murthy. I am Police Inspector, Whitefield Police Station, and I am very thankful for the organizers who brought me here. So, today I will speak few words about the safe neighborhoods. How to have safe neighborhoods, how we should live in a safe and so generally we all know what we are practicing now. For our house, or for our apartment, or for our villa community, whatever we have, we will appoint security guards. We feel that we are safe inside the apartment or in our community. But generally, now, as the urbanization is going on, because of the cosmopolitan culture of society, the lack of identity is becoming more. Lack of identity means, I would like to tell, we will not know who is our neighbor. In olden days, when we are living in small communities, everybody would know each other, and whoever new person comes, they used to identify there is a stranger, new fellow has entered into our community. Nowadays, today, it's not the thing. Now we don't know who is staying in our next house. So because of that, now we are coming with all these big communities like apartments, 1,000 apartments, 1,000 flats, 2-3 flats, 100 flats apartments like that, and also communities. among the communities we don't have communication or knowing interaction or knowing people. A basic thing, we spend around 1/3 of the, basically people who are working spend 1/3 of our time in our community house. 2/3 of the time generally, or even half of the time, will be spent outside our community. So, for example, if you go to a shop, to go to a movie, go for a walk, or come late in the night, wherever you move, you will move out of the community. That means the common area between our communities. So if anything happens in that common area, nobody knows what's happening there and who is the person who is suffering. And we will not have any communication also. So for that, we had a plan. Generally, I will not go in depth of basic things. You all know what plan we are putting to make safe neighborhoods. I will explain in few sentences. So our idea is what we are doing. One of our representative MC member already pointed out. So our security guards are sleeping. And in daytime, you are telling? Night. When I came, I also, when we are meeting our MC members in Whitefield, I was expressing this. Whenever we go for night rounds, after 11:30 or 12 o'clock, no security guard will be 90%. 90% they will be either sleeping or sitting in a room, drowsy or napping. So in that situation, we cannot make use of the security guards, even for whom we are paying. We cannot make effective use of them. So, in order to do effective measures with all these things, we have come across an idea of neighborhood watch scheme. So, this neighborhood watch scheme is basically about knowing the communities in some area, in one particular area, each other, getting familiarization, connecting with each other, interconnecting, then responding to a situation. These are the main ideas. One is knowing each other, then interconnecting, then responding. Now, even if you know, interact, if you don't respond, it's of no use. So how we should do this? We can use, we are not suggesting to, as some are expressing, we are not suggesting to spend more money for this. Whatever you are spending, whatever system you have, you can make effective use of that. I think all apartments or villas will have your security guards, one security guards. You may have 3, 4, 5 like that in the night, 3, 4, 5 in the day, like that. What we are doing, we are asking we are selecting areas, maybe 1 kilometer, 1 square kilometer, or half square kilometer if the communities are thick, like that. We will make one contiguous area as a unit or one area, patrolling area. So among that, we will call all the security in charge people of that apartments, have a meeting with them. We will advise them to take a common phone number for the security guards. So today one security guard will come, he will have one phone number, tomorrow he will go. Other fellow will come after 1 week. You will not be knowing who is your security guard, with what number he is using also. Even in emergency, if you want to call a security guard, or if security guard want to call you or other neighboring apartment or villa like that, he will not know. So for that, we are advising to have a common phone number. One phone, one small phone, whatever you have. As the earlier speaker was suggesting, you have a tablet. In that only you can have a common phone number. So that phone number should be known to the entire group of apartments or villas, communities, which we are going to make a group, closer group. Then you can use WhatsApp or anything.
If you want to communicate anything or you want to call anything, you can call. And we are also advising the security guards to be vigilant throughout the night, making them to visit the neighborhoods each other. So we will give a common book or whatever to them. So instead of sleeping, he can visit the neighboring adjacent apartment or villa community. He can speak to them. He can take his signature and come back. For that, the management committee can see at least our security guard is moving around. He is not sleeping. So by the time, while moving like that, he can watch the common area between your apartments. If any stranger is there, if any people are chit-chatting, if any fellow is doing any nuisance to women or children, whatever, he can at least observe and he can report to you back to the management committee or whatever, or intern to the police.
Security guards appointed within apartment complex can actually be utilized beyond your gates, right? So how can you effectively see that contribute towards making your neighborhood also more secure along with your own complex? So that's what I
Yes.
meant to say.
No, we are stressing that aspect only because our women, children, or whatever, even we are moving around our neighborhood also, always, maybe in the night or even in the daytimes and all. Many crimes are happening in your neighborhood, not inside your community. But victims are all of us, anybody who is a community member or an outsider, whoever it may be. For that, we have so many measures for that, like putting one CC camera facing the road. One good CC camera facing the road. Who are affordable, they can put even a good CC camera on the road itself. But we will not suggest and force all communities because it involves economic costs. So we cannot force them to put all those things. We will suggest you can put one CC camera facing the road. So that even if some crime or any offense happens in front of you also, even in front of you, you may not be in a position to tell who has done that. Because I told you the problem of anonymity. You cannot know who is the person. You cannot tell his name. You can say only if some person does anything and runs away, what we can do? You can say only some guy or 25 years old or so, height and build, he has done and gone away. That's all. Isn't it? You will not in a position to tell the name. At least why we are insisting put a CC camera, good camera, means it can capture the picture so that if that picture, we text that picture, we will be in a position to track that person with our resources, whatever information we have. Please. Okay. One is having a common phone number and communicating with each other, and the contiguous group of communities, whichever you select, 10 communities, 12 communities, 15 communities, meeting often, discussing with our common problems like waste management or other things, including the security aspect also. And we have another good idea that we are pushing in our Whitefield for the first time. Tomorrow we have a meeting to push it. If it works well, it is really good. It gives a good results for us. We are planning to, as I told, to after selecting a group of communities and marking one area, we will depute 1 or 2 constables to that area 24/7. They will be in touch with your security guards always. And during night times, they will, if the communities agree, they will take 2 or 3 security guards with them, form into groups, and they will patrol the area. So with this, at least we can watch the entire area outside your community compounds or walls, where people move for their whatever business we have throughout the night, so that nobody, unscrupulous element, should feel that this area is not watched or not seen by anybody, I can do something here. They should not do it. So once if we successful in our effort, what you are trying to do now in Whitefield, all of you can, in your respective areas, you can do this idea and do it. But all are concerned now, the security agency is here, he may express his concern with this. All are concerned about the safety of security guards when they move outside. So for us, I am now taking up this by deputing one of our policemen with them. Now once the area come to know and the people in the area come to know that such a system is working, all the security guards, even they are watching outside and they are reporting to police. So 1 or 2 times in the initial stages, they may get some tough times or resistance, whatever. Once it is come into practice, people will definitely feel that they should keep quiet and not to do anything to the security guards also. They should feel that security guards also have become part of police work. So they are doing police work. So you should be careful even if they are watching.
Thank you, sir. So I think this is a very good model which is emerging in Whitefield. In fact, all of you can look at bettering it and see how you can replicate this across different areas in Bangalore. Now, Praveen, from the perspective of background verification, what do you think? Where is the security system going ahead? How will the UID integration or any other such infrastructure bring in a lot more security in place? So, do you have any points to share there?
Yeah, thanks. And I think there was a fantastic model which are being evolving and which are being practiced, which will add a lot more value. I give you a minute background about us so that you understand the context. So Better Place was started in January last year with a motivation to safe power every citizen. So we were all technology people. I was the global head of SAP's cloud product. Saurav was senior executive with Mu Sigma. Yash with Yahoo. Lalitesh Katragada, who created Google Map Maker and country head of Google India. Ex-CBA director Gopalachari ji, and all people we came together, right? We said that, and this whole initiative started with the unfortunate incident that happened in Bangalore where a 6-year-old girl was molested. And unfortunately, the guy who had done it twice already, right? Why are we as a society allowing people to commit repeat crimes? And that's a question which started hurting us, right? Being a father of 2 lovely daughters, I felt that it's time to quit the job and do something for the society, right? So it's not only for apartments, we do it for anybody and everybody. We believe that safety is one of the most important requirements. I also believe that, and as pointed out by Venkat as well during his presentation, that we are carelessly or carefully careless. That's the term I use always. We have a lot of processes defined, right? We are very careful in defining the processes. There is a register where the data should be entered and blah, 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 blah. But actually, we are absolutely careless when it comes to safety, right? We are also very reactive. Everybody knows that if I'm not wearing a helmet and if I'm on the road and if I meet with an accident, the chances of death are extremely high. But we all believe that this happens with somebody else and not with me. So we are always reactive to our safety needs, wherein the expenditure that we incur in safety is extremely high, if you like per person expenditure over a period of time. So when we talk about all those different aspects, what we realize is that safety starts at home, right? Safety starts with the people we interact with, right? We talk about, let's say, the visitor manager, and we maintain the details of a person, but we take the details as the person gives it, right? We have no clue if the details given are correct or not. Even if we capture them in a register or a digital format, the challenge still stays. We don't even know if the person who is staying next door is a tenant who just came in. He has come in from somewhere. What's the background of the person, right? We don't know the person with whom we are leaving the kids behind, right? My 2 daughters, if I live with domestic help, I have no clue who the person is, from where she is coming, right? It might be that the person who is working at my home, working in 5 other places, in 5 different apartment complexes in the neighborhood. What is happening there? Do I know that? Right? There are so many challenges that we encounter on a daily basis, right? I give you an example that happened in our complex. We do have these identity cards and all those things that we talk about, but I tell you what is the value of those identity cards. We take the mobile number, we take the name of the person. Now keep in mind always that people who are with criminal mind, they are the people who are faking everything, right? Not the right people, because we don't care when we are the right people, right? Now if I give you a mobile number, I give you a mobile number which anyway I'm going to throw away when I do the crime. I give you a name which you will never know is the right name or wrong name, right? How do you know my identity? How do I track? So this is the case that happened in our complex where I live. Apartment Adda was one of, we are one of the first, actually the first customer of Apartment Adda. It's called Greenwood Regency. And I was the first one to buy Apartment Adda that time. It was almost 9 years back or so, when testing the pilot version perhaps. We realized that the person who had given the identity card, the mobile number, the name, one fine day unfortunately ran away with gold jewelry and some money and something. And you call the number, you look for some name XYZ, you don't know whether the name is valid, the SIM card is lying somewhere in the drain. How do you reach out to the person, right? These are the challenges. Now when we talk about UID and technology,
Give an example here. In fact, Sam keeps sharing this, you have so many delivery boys coming, right? He wears a Flipkart t-shirt and comes. How do you know he actually belongs to Flipkart?
so that's a very good point, and I will also talk about that. So what we do is that we work with all those companies, Roadrunner or Swiggy or Flipkart and you name it. We also work with a lot of facility management companies like Dusters and security guard company like Guardwell, and you would know all of them. We are the largest player in India in these segments. What we do is that we look into profiling an individual from a personal, professional, and social credentials, right? We look into all the parameters. We look into the integrity and character of the person, and then we give a trust score against this person. And this is something which keep going up and down depending on the behavior of the person, right? This can be applied anywhere in an organization, in a home, in a shop or whatsoever with the people that you interact with. It could be for your employees, it could be for your partner, it could be when you are going for a dating, you are going for a marriage, you are giving your house on rent or whatsoever, right? It can be applied in every instance. Now, we continuously look into the data. Most of the time, a background verification is also an entry barrier check, right? I just check once and I assume that nothing will happen, right? There are a lot of assumptions that we make always, but what happens in between, right? And it's not only about a blue collar or a white collar, it's for anybody for that matter, right? So what we said is that we will create a system where we can profile people continuously and we can feel safer when we interact with them, right? We also ensure that this whole process is so simplified. We work with government, Mr. Sunil Kumar, who is ADGP of private security guards. We work with very closely with him when it comes to a lot of PASAR Act and other things which are applicable for security guards. We don't demand our security all the time, right? I was talking to many apartments in last 1.5 years that I have done research. I spoke to many apartments, right? And I asked them that, are your security guards verified, right? We all talk about security guards and you are here. I tell you 90% of them are not verified, right? You don't know whether they are the right people who are doing security for us, right? Why are we taking risk? Why are we not demanding? Then I asked that, why don't you ask the agency? And the people revert back saying that it's the agency's job. And I asked the agency, and I asked every agency, and I know every agency in Karnataka. I asked them, then they said the customer is not demanding, right? So it's a simple question. We need to demand. We are leaving, and as you rightly said, we are leaving our safety and security on somebody else's hand. We assume that this will be done by the government or it will be done by the agency, not by me. But I am there to complain about every damn thing that happens with my safety and security. That is what we have to change. It's like garbage we talked about, right? If I throw the garbage goes out, it will come back one day to me. It's the same thing where it's about safety and security, right? So what we do, we create this technology. We ensure that there is a system where the safety and security is taken in a complete sense, right? It's not in parts and pieces. We also ensure that it becomes very simple using mobile apps or portals or whatsoever. The whole process of integrating with police and all is also simplified. You can use this for various different purposes. I can meet in person and explain those things. What we also do is that we have also ensured that we bring the cost down to a level where you don't think about it at all, right? We do it at 99 paisa per day, that's it. 99 paisa per day, and that includes all kinds of safety tools that you can think of, attendance management, visitor management. It talks about verification of all your staff, security guards, facility, tenants, maids, drivers, yourself, whatsoever, right?
Praveen, you use the UID thing here. Do you have?
We are also a partner with UID. We we can show a demo quickly as well, if somebody is interested. We have a plugin with the mobile device. So identity is always with so the beauty of UID is that one, it's absolutely secure. There were some data privacy issue I heard about. We have a lot of encryption and hashing of data so that you cannot even access it. And the second thing is that Aadhaar is the only thing that cannot be duplicated, fortunately, right? There's 1.3x time PAN cards of eligible people. Same is voter ID, but Aadhaar is at least one-on-one, right? There is no chance. So we start with that. We start with biometric. So the fear of God also starts coming in that, yes, there is the right identity. I cannot get away, right? The biggest challenge today is that if I do something, I can get away by doing that crime. 90% of the crimes are not reported, actually, unfortunately, right? And people feel that I can get away, and they become smarter and smarter and smarter in doing criminal activities. Together, we can solve the problem, right? So we have this technology where we integrate with UID, we integrate with all the court records. At a click, you can find out the complete profile of an individual, and so on and so forth. I would be very happy. My team is here. Actually, we would be delighted to showcase all the details in your respective apartments. I don't want to go through all the details. But what is very important is demand your safety, right? Don't leave it to others' responsibility only, right? Please ensure that when we are living in one complex and when we talk about neighborhood, things are happening in the other complex as well. We should know that, right? And we should know that in a way where we can add value to each other. Today, in fact, from my flat to the other flat itself, we don't know, right? What the hell is going on, right? I fire somebody for some reason, finds a job in the other, then I think anyway it's her or his problem, why should I bother, right? That is what we need to solve together.
Thanks, Praveen. Caroline, coming to you. Caroline represents Stalwart Security System. She heads that. And so could you let us know what are the challenges you face with respect to apartment complexes in managing, security aspects?
Good afternoon. So I run and manage a security agency called Stalwart. We are there all over South India. So I'll come to the question directly. Okay, before that, when SAN invited me to this conference, I was really thrilled because the residential sector is very close to our hearts. While we work in different across industry verticals, this is a sector where we find most challenging as well as most rewarding. And people like you, the MC members, are our direct stakeholders and people we interact with on a daily basis. So that's where I wanted to reach out to you all and talk about awareness. So there are two aspects to this. One is quality comes with a price. When we want to hire the right kind of guards, when we don't want them to do double shifts and sleep in the night, we want them to look good, we want them to be 10 standard pass at least minimum. There are a variety of qualifications we all want from a guard. It comes at a price and we should be willing to pay that price. This is something that most societies are waking up to, and things are getting better on this front. But more importantly, the challenge that we face is, as a culture, we don't have respect for that profession of a security guard. The uniform is not respected as a police or a CRPF or any other services is respected. So that topic is very close to my heart. I want to bring respectability to this profession, where you don't not just pay for what you get, but also you help enforce. You help empower them. You empower your guards to enforce rules. So in residential apartments, complexes, everybody is a owner, right? So everybody comes with the attitude of, I own this apartment, or I'm paying such good rent for this apartment. I own the security guard. From a small kid, from a 10-year-old kid, I've heard them saying that, look, I'm paying for you, so listen to me. So that security itself is a threat in residential complexes. And that's one of our greatest challenges, where we want to we conduct awareness programs in some of the complexes that we are in. We conduct monthly awareness programs. We continuously educate people as to not just the difficulties of the job, but what the rules are and why we should follow them, right? We have to work hand in hand. It is not just you've hired an agency and we do our job. It is a hand-in-hand job, where right now a guard is afraid to stop somebody who's entering a campus and ask, because he'll get abused, or he'll get shouted at, or he'll get cold shoulder. The treatment is not going to be very nice. So I guess, I mean, that's what I wanted to bring up here. Apart from that, how do we ensure all these things don't happen is, like the synergy that we can bring in this group by working together, the people on this panel, I think is tremendous. For example, background verification. We do our own police verification. All our guards are 100% police verified. But sometimes, even that is not enough. Especially for senior roles, they want another level of verification to be done, where, I see a direct synergy of, we can make a difference.
So what are the latest technologies that you're aware of which can add value in the whole system? Like CCTV cameras, all of us are aware. Are there anything else which, people are not aware of, which could add value?
See, in residential sector, there are different levels of security that's needed. One is the physical uniform security you're seeing at the gate. CCTVs are very important, and these days there are more advanced cameras, cameras that you can't even spot, that are placed in locations, that nobody would expect. It's a huge deterrence. Just the fact that they are being watched, the residents behave better, the visitors behave better, and the domestic help that comes in, it's completely unsupervised and supervised behavior of the domestic help is, really, really striking. So CCTVs are, I know it's a commonly used word, but then there are more and more advanced cameras that have come in now. There can be watchtowers, security watchtowers. There can be plainclothes security, which we do in certain apartments, where you just let them do surprise checks on the security themselves and on the different types of workers.
In fact, she was also mentioning that there is something called as body camera which could be used here.
What we have seen is during the neighborhood watch, one of the key things is one of the advantages that we've seen is, first of all, we are more aware of the crime around us, and many times crime is not reported because you fear of somebody of reprisal, you can say. And also sometimes it's apathy. I'm seeing it every day, but what can I do about it? I'm helpless. So you avoid this helplessness feeling when you become a part of a group who cares, right? And then you're always, police help is always going to be there, but they need our help also to report. You might think that reporting in anonymity is one way. I don't know if people have heard, but Crime Stoppers has been started in India in 2007 by my father, and it has launched in Karnataka as well. But what we found is the citizens' awareness is the key to its success. The police were there to help at a very high level. The media was very supportive. And citizens, if they are taking responsibility, like saying, do not accept anything that happens around you. The moment that trickles in and you become a bigger force than anything else, right? Even whether it is matters of, road. As long as you don't complain, you're going to get bad roads. As long as you're going to accept crime happening around you, it is going to continue to happen. Right? So there has to be a forum where we become a stronger, united forum. Right? It can be neighborhood, you can call it a good name called Neighborhood Watch, and use various tools that are available. And we were thinking that we will revive the Crime Stoppers for the Whitefield, given that Whitefield Rising is providing a great citizens platform where people can come together, right? Anything happens to anybody, we are there for you. So that kind of a community helps in actually saying, reporting, this is happening and we need to report it. And immediately our police are also there to help us solve those crimes. Right.
So herein, I would like to add that, the gatekeeper product, there's a lot of synergy between all this when it comes to gatekeeper product, because we are also planning to bring something called as panic alert. You as a resident see something or is in the midst of something happening, you can just press that panic alert button and immediate SMS or notification goes to the security in your apartment complex, and they can then bring in immediate help. At least, right? So there's a lot of synergy. We are talking to all these, Anupama, Neighborhood Watch, and the police, and Better Place to try and see how we can make the gatekeeper as more effective, right? Then rather being like, I think now it is being seen as just bringing your register online. It is not that. It has much more applicability when it comes to security of your overall apartment complex. So any questions here?
Just like to share some of the views. Mr. Nasimurthy made a mention about the common telephone number. We have already introduced it. We have put a label at every lift. We have done that already. Second, verification of the profile. Without a verification profile, we don't entertain any of the guards. But what I have observed is, every week there is a change of the guards. The attrition rate is very high. The reason appears to be, if you pay pennies, you will get monkeys. So we have observed that, and we have agreed to enhance the rate, especially with the minimum wages act coming up now. It has already been enhanced. We have no choice except to do it. If we do it, then I hope that will be better. Otherwise, except for we have about 10, 15 guards. 3 of them are permanent, and all the other people are revolving around. I don't know whether they revolve between different apartments. Because I look into a particular issue in this sense, every Monday, as president, I take the privilege of a salute from the guards and spend about 10 minutes with them, look into the last week's work, and ask their, whatever their requirements, and then interact with them. One interesting feature I wanted to share with all the apartments was, recently, we are all aware that the revenue generation is the first thing that we look into the apartment in the question of facilities. We have a clubhouse. In the clubhouse, we used to entertain a lot of commercial people coming in and then putting a showcase, some 1 week, once a month or once in 2 months. A couple of months ago, I don't want to make a mention, one corporate manufacturer came. He had 1-day show. Not even 1 rupee was the commercial, this thing, 1 rupee was spent. Since nobody bothered about coming in. But the same group of carpets manufacturers booked the same clubhouse 1.5 months in advance for the next show. And they wanted it for 2 days. Suddenly, when I got a doubt, in fact, Mr. Praveen Sood, additional DGP, stays with us, just put a word to him and then said, I'm going ahead with this. We rejected the 2 days affair. We said we will have it over only 1 day. There was a reluctance. And then why did they book 1.5 months in advance? It's just sharing my experience. 1.5 months in advance, when they did not have a single place of business 1 month earlier. Thirdly, most of the names I read out, I had some doubts. Called them and said, you have to give the ID. And I played a trick. Second day, we are having a meeting of high-profile police officers coming here for a meeting. Then they dropped off. They never came. This was a caution. Later on, I have referred this matter to the police, and they are verifying their whereabouts. Just a caution like this. Just because we get a couple of thousands of rupees by hiring this, we invite in trouble. This is just my sharing my experience with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Hello.